Welcome back to Big Movie Mouth Off, the podcast where three Salt Lake City-based critics feel a lot about film. I'm Jeff Counts.
I'm Brooks Bird.
And I'm Adam McDonald.
This is episode 41. We've done a couple of all horror episodes on this season.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome, Brooks. This is going to be an all silly movie episode. We're going to review Naked Gun, the remake, the sequel. I'm not sure what to call it, the reboot, whatever.
Guess a requel?
Yes.
I guess so.
Then we're going to review Freakier Friday, which is definitely a sequel. No other way to put it. And Adam, I'm curious what you think what the over-under is. How many minutes into the show you think it is before Brooks tells me, I just don't like fun? 10?
Want to do it right now, Brooks? Let's get it out of the way.
Yeah, I mean, we know it's true, so.
Well, when we're done with those two reviews, we're going to do a Guilty Pleasures segment based on family legacy, because both of these movies are about family legacy. It's kind of perfect. And then we'll do our coming attractions, and then we'll call it a night. But first, we're going to do Naked Gun review. Brooks is going to take us through the synopsis, such as it is. Before he does that, here's a little bit of the trailer.
Once you kill a man for revenge, there's no going back. A voice in your head sang over and over, "That was awesome."
Who are you?
Drebin. Detective Frank Drebin. Thanks.
Police squad has always been the elite of the elite.
Hi, Daddy. It's me, Frank Jr. Love you.
Hey, Dad. Boy, do I miss you.
Okay, Brooks, make a plot out of this.
You mean a plot device? But
yes.
So it's been 31 years since we've seen a Frank Drebin in action, and now we've got Liam Neeson stepping into the role as Lieutenant Frank Drebin Jr., who is also working for Police Squad, of course, which is a special department of the LAPD, and he's got working with alongside his friend Captain Ed Hawken Jr., because that's how these movies work. Everybody has to be related to somebody in the original.
Family legacy, like we said.
Yeah. And then after a murder, Beth Davenport arrives, played by Pamela Anderson, to ask Drebin to help her find who killed her brother, who was made to look like a suicide, which leads them on the case of Richard Kane, played by Danny Houston, and hilarity and farce and jokes and everything but the kitchen sink you can think of. Actually, the kitchen sink may be in here. Ensues.
I have to say first, before we go into the film at all, that they finally found a movie in which Danny Houston's Wonder Woman performance makes sense.
I wonder if they did it on purpose.
Because he was terrible in Wonder Woman, let's be honest. But he played the exact same kind of bad guy in this movie, and it works perfectly.
I mean, yeah, if you're going to play a bad guy, a comedy is where you do it.
Totally. And Danny Houston is the person you hired to do it. So,
Yeah, well, and plus, I guess, a spoof comedy, because it's supposed to be dumb. So
Yeah.
I do want to give this movie credit for how well they did with their marketing. They knew exactly what they had on their hands. They didn't overplay it. They didn't underplay it. They told you exactly what you were going to get. And I feel like I was fed the exact meal I ordered.
So I have to preface this with my movie-going experience, which
It's
has
so
kind of...
sad.
I know, it is sad.
Honestly, I have to be... It is tarnishing my review. So for those who've never been to a press screening, I mean, we're really spoiled. Like, when you go in there, you can't pull your phone out or they'll kick you out. In some places, they'll even take your phone. Kids are talking or screaming. They make them leave the audience. So it really lets us focus on the movie and what we need to do as far as reviewing it. Well, for the first half of this one, the lady in front of me was on Snapchat for literally the first half of the movie. And it wasn't just like checking it. It was literally taking snaps, calling people. It was distracting. And so finally I was like, will you put your phone away? And she's like, oh, I'm sorry, and put it away. So originally I was going to do the synopsis on this, but to be completely honest and just forthright with our audience, I was so distracted for a lot of the movie that I probably missed a couple things. And maybe that put me in a bad mood because this just didn't work for me. And that's what made me so sad, was because everyone I've talked to has liked it. And I love like the original Naked Gun and Airplane and Mel Brooks. And this is a movie that should be 100% what I love. I mean, yeah, I laugh sometimes. Don't get me wrong. There were some really funny moments. The marketing gave you exactly what you wanted, exactly what it said it was going to do. We talk about acing the exam, and this one did it with flying colors. But for whatever reason, it just didn't click with me. It's a lot of it felt very derivative of other movies. So for instance, there's a sight gag, behind a curtain where you see the shadows doing very obscene things. And then you go into real life and you're like, oh, they're they're being silly, they're popping a bottle of wine or they're doing this. We've gotten that 3 times in Austin Powers. And
Of
even
course.
then, I know it's not an uncommon trope, but it's like, okay, do something different. And then even the plot device and all that. And I did like the plot device. That was actually one thing I got a good giggle out of. Kingsman, anyone?
Right.
Hi. So it didn't work for me. The jokes that should have been awesome. I love the coffee thing, the coffee gag. I had fun the entire time with that. It just didn't click. And again, I do fully blame this on my movie going experience and the people around me because I'm going to see it again when it comes out. I do want to watch it again and give it that second chance. I reserve every right on a future episode to be, oh, by the way, I have a different opinion.
I think you should, Adam, because I think you missed something here because I'm actually more enthusiastic about it than you are. And that surprises me. And I think that could only happen if your viewing experience sucked as much as you're saying. And look, we could do an entire episode on movie theater behavior, particularly in the city that we live in. It is terrible. You either know what we're talking about or you need to look in the mirror because you are what we are talking about.
Yes.
We'll maybe address that some other time. But Brooks, convince Adam why he needs to give this another shot.
Please do, because I really, really, this is like, I wanted to like this so much. It hurt me. I walked out like really depressed. Like I might need to go see my therapist now
Yeah.
because of how much I wanted to like this movie.
This is how I felt when you texted me. I felt like Bruce Banner walking down the highway.
Well, if Adam is noticing that this movie is derivative, if that's something that he's paying attention to, then his experience was really blown apart because of course it's derivative. That's the whole point.
That's what I was going to say.
So tell him why.
That's
Tell
all
him
it
why,
rides
Brooks.
on. Well, I mean, come on, go back to the very middle of the movie with our favorite snowman.
So again, there's parts I liked. I didn't.
I wish
hate
they'd
it.
named it.
Yeah,
That would have been better, but it was
that was a fun little moment.
It was a
so.
silent sequence aside from mine and Jimmy's favorite karaoke song.
I think this movie is full of those kinds of things, Brooks. All of the winks, I think, are timed perfectly and they make sense. They're not overly indulgent.
No, it's all played as straight as it's supposed to be.
Exactly. And I think in terms of casting, you can't do much better than Liam Neeson because he has become famous for the Taken role, right? I mean, that's been basically the last decade of his career. And Jimmy used to always talk about how you can see the paycheck hanging out of his pocket. Like, we don't even remember the names of most of these films anymore. They're all so much the same.
Wasn't he in Wolf Punch?
Well, he's kind of playing himself.
Oh, absolutely. But he's also really leaning into, he has a part in, is it Ted 2? Where he's like talking to Ted about cereal or something. I don't know, but
I haven't seen Ted. I haven't seen that in so long.
I know.
couldn't tell you.
I can't remember. He's in one of them, and that was one of the things that just sealed me for it. They wanted him to be in this movie playing those characters, and that is the only way it could have worked. And it does 110%. He's straight faced, no matter how silly the line of dialogue, or even the sequences where they're doing the Austin Powers stuff, which, yeah, that was a part that started funny. But then I wonder if Seth MacFarlane, being a producer, talked them into keeping it going because that's what Family Guy does. And instead of turning back around and being funny again, it really drove it into the ground.
Yeah, and the moment I saw Seth MacFarlane as an executive producer, I was like, I get it now.
That scene is very raunchy. It's a little bit overplayed.
It's like you with Sinners. I kind of thought it felt out of place.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, that almost made me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And
I think it's just because of how long it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was no kids in the theater. Like, it was all adults and the stupid woman in front of me on her phone. I hope you're listening.
We want everyone to listen.
But I almost felt embarrassed to be there. And
it was a very odd sequence.
Yeah, it was kind of like when the Simpsons did the crossover with Family Guy. And some of the jokes they did in there, especially there's a specific Stewie one I'm not going to repeat. It just like, because Simpsons has always been like lighthearted, poke fun, but in the end, it means well. And when they crossed it with Family Guy, it just literally felt mean.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think some of the meanness of Seth MacFarlane was in here too. So,
well, I think you're talking about, Adam, those moments in a film where the content doesn't match the intent. And I think that was one of those moments in this film. It stuck out because it wasn't necessary. It's funny. It was raunchy. And, spoof movies from the 80s were often raunchy. But this movie didn't need it. So I agree with you that moment stuck out. And I think several moments stuck out. This is not a perfect film. But the coffee bit that went all the way through the film, I thought that was so well chosen because it was easy to pull off. It didn't require a lot from them. But it was a marker of the kind of film they were making, and I appreciated that.
Going back to our comment about kind of the inappropriate humor, I feel like if this been an R-rated movie, we wouldn't be talking about that whatsoever.
Of course.
Because you're
No.
expecting that. And I
Yeah.
feel, I wonder if there's an R-rated cut out there. I wonder if when we get it on Blu-ray and 4K that they're going to have the unrated cut.
I don't want it.
I don't think you need it either. I'm just wondering if it felt like a movie will toe the line between like a PG-13 R rating.
Mm-hmm.
And this one kind of felt like there was so much stuff left on the cutting room floor that there were multiple cuts.
Yeah.
Like Mrs.
Oh, I wouldn't
Doubtfire,
be
allegedly, there's
surprised.
like 5 different cuts depending on how bad Robin Williams was, what kind of language and horrible things he was saying for the cuts that didn't make it. I feel like this is almost a two-sided coin of a movie where there's a version out there that some of the stuff would have been more appropriate in.
Brooks, thinking about these old spoof movies, PG used to be so much dirtier than it is now. Parental guidance, they really meant it. Like you
Mhm.
needed to have a parent there. And now you kind of have to get a full R rating to get to the level of raunch that you used to be able
True.
to get routinely in a PG movie. So maybe they were hearkening back to that a little bit. Who knows? I might be
Maybe.
ascribing them way too much cleverness, but I think this movie works on a lot of levels. I think it's funny. I do not think it's perfect. I do not think, Adam, that you were distracted from a perfect film by any means, but I do think you were distracted from a pretty fun one. So I'll do my score first. I'm at 2.5 stars because it's way better than average, but not amazing. I got exactly what I paid for, and I was really excited and happy when I left. So 2.5, not down the middle, a little bit better than that. Brooks, what about you?
Well, the weird thing about Naked Gun that I realized is it has a weird place in my heart. I guess I grew up with the movies. I know every line of dialogue from at least the first movie. I saw the second and third movies in a theater and probably shouldn't have.
Nope.
At least the second one, maybe, but the 33 and a third would have been fine because that was 94. I was 14. Yeah, that's perfect. But I even use dialogue from the first movie in my wedding vows, and it's a weird
Which
movie.
I wasn't invited to, by the way.
Same.
Did I even know you?
No.
That doesn't matter. I don't understand I don't understand what difference that makes.
But yeah, for me, I don't know. It held every ounce of expectation I had for it. Liam Neeson was amazing. Akiva Schaffer? I think it's Schaffer.
Schaefer.
I mean, he's from Lonely Island. No one was more perfect for this, especially after, I keep saying this every time the movie gets brought up, after making the Chippendale movie, because that was and is the Naked Gun for families. And so I was very excited to see if he could pull this off, and he did. And there's even cameos that harken back to the original trilogy. You can't have a Naked Gun movie, I'll just say it, without Weird Al. He's in all four
Correct.
of them now. And even Priscilla Presley pops up in this. And most people didn't even know it was her.
I missed
Or
that.
real
I didn't
time
catch it,
her.
no.
So
I saw her name in the
she's-
credits, but I didn't know who she was.
So she's in it, and everything about it was as dumb and silly and, well, maybe a little bit raunchier than it needed to be. But for me, it's a perfect Naked Gun movie.
Which means
So I'm going to give it 4 stars for the 4th Naked Gun.
What? 4?
Wow.
Okay, 4.
I
Brooks,
love this movie with every ounce of my being
All right.
now.
Brooks coming out swinging. So
The
Adam,
funniest movie of the year.
Adam, your highly compromised score would be
Batter up.
So I am going to be kind. I'm going to go with 2. And the reason why I'm doing that, my score was originally 1.5, but I owe it at least half a star due to my viewing experience detracting from what the movie was actually about. And again, I reserve every right to come back to it in a couple months and revise my review. Like we said earlier, it nailed the assignment. It knew what it was. There were some genuinely funny moments that did get a chuckle out of me. And we all know that I don't laugh in theaters very often.
Mm-hmm.
I just felt that it was very derivative of what has come before. I think Liam Neeson did a great job. And so I'm happy for that. Pam Anderson was fun. It's kind of good to see her
Surprisingly.
doing some new fun stuff again. I just wanted more. And I think maybe my expectations were so high, not only based on my love of the series, the trailers looked cool. Everyone saw it before me. So maybe that set the bar higher. And I can guarantee you it was the movie going experience. So I'm going to give it a second chance, but 2 stars for me. So
2 stars for Adam. I honestly think that you want more, and there is more if you can just see it without an inconsiderate person in front of you. So we'll check back with you later after you've had a second
Yes.
chance. 2.5 for me, Brooks.
The Naked Gun, 4 out of 4.
Totally ridiculous. I have no choice but to accept it. All right. So when we come back, we're going to talk about Freakier Friday. Speaking of totally ridiculous, Adam's going to do the synopsis for that Disney sequel. We'll be right back after a little bit of the trailer.
My bachelorette party will be good bonding for everyone. You two are called to be family.
Yeah, right.
Don't remind me. You've walked in each other's path. You learned a lesson that may serve you again. Okay, that's enough.
Thank you very much. I'll get...
One more thing. Right over there is a QR code that you can tip me with. Change the hearts you know are wrong to reach the place where you belong.
Oh my God, what is happening?
Okay, it's me. It's Mom.
Okay, Adam, Freakier Friday.
All right, well, we're back and it's double trouble. 20 plus years later, after the first one, we find out that Anna Coleman, played by Lindsay Lohan, she is now the mom, and she is also a rock star's agent. And of course, they always say, I hope your kids turn out like you. Well, guess what? Her daughter, Harper, is exactly like her and rebellious and doesn't want to go to school and all these fun things. Well, Jamie Lee Curtis's Tess is now grandma, so she gets to be a podcaster, give parenting advice. Well, everything goes meh, it is what it is, until we find out that not only is Harper going to end up becoming stepsisters with Lily, her sworn rival, everyone needs to learn a lesson again. And after getting a palm reading, everyone switches bodies, and now the two young girls are stuck in the bodies of the two older women, and vice versa. And jokes about being old and being young and not having pain in places you used to ensue, and we all learn a lesson.
Yeah, so if you take the original concept of Freaky Friday and you just sort of double it, you make it a quartet rather than a duo. That's what we've got here. And Adam's right. It's an opportunity to exploit the age gap that the first movie took advantage of. I have to say from the outset, this kind of film is not for me, right? I saw
you were not a millennial girl or a gay. So.
No, I wasn't. I saw the first one and I sort of shrugged my shoulders. I thought, fine, back when it came out. But
back in the 60s?
Yeah. This movie I honestly would not have seen if we weren't going to do it as part of an all comedy show. Now, that being said, when I walked out of it, though I was not moved in any way, though I was not feeling as if my day improved in any way, I do get it. Like, I do understand the point of this kind of film. And I do appreciate I don't want to say craft, but I appreciate the work of getting a story like this over the finish line. I'm struggling to be generous here. I think you guys can hear that. But I don't hate it, is what I'm trying to say. How do you feel about it, Brooks?
Well, when the first one came out, I was much younger. It was 20-something years ago, so I was in my 20s, so I probably shouldn't have liked it as much as I did, but it was fun. Lindsay Lohan hadn't hit her peak yet, although I think that one might have been the peak.
I think this might have been the peak, yeah.
I think it was the last of the good Lindsay Lohan movies. And Jamie Lee Curtis is always great. And so, the first one shouldn't have worked, but it had enough jokes and the performances were great that it pulled me in and I loved it anyway. I will admit, I had a lot of trepidation for this because it's been so long, but they definitely did a great job. It was kind of nice for everything to just kind of fall back in place. It's one of those weird movies where the nostalgia feels right with it being a direct sequel. And I think that if they had tried to maybe just make another Freaky Friday movie, then we'd be judging it differently because it would be a new movie versus the old movie, where now it's a continuation and it's characters we already know, and it makes it a little easier to go down. And I had a lot of fun with everything.
It sounds like you agree with one of the comments that I saw, that this movie could have easily just depended upon our comfort at being back with these characters after so much time. But instead it chose to turn it up a little bit by adding the younger ladies and giving more opportunity for that game of difference, right? That they didn't they didn't just rely on nostalgia. They did a little something extra with it. And Adam, I felt like, though, that one of the things, at least Jamie Lee Curtis thought she was given as a pre-filming note was, hey, turn it up to 12, please. And she said, absolutely not. Here's a 15. I mean, she is so over the top. I think she overplays almost every scene she's got. And it, for me, takes away from what could have been the sweetness of the story.
I kind of feel, though, it was the same performance she gave in the original one, because she had to be way super crazy, over the top, like teenager being a 30, 40-something-year-old woman and going crazy. Now, it's a bit different when you have a teenager suddenly becoming a woman in her 70s. Because in some of those jokes were like, oh my God, I think I just peed. Like, we knew those were coming, right? Those are honestly kind of lazy jokes.
Well, they
'cause we
did it
expect
twice.
those.
So in
Yeah,
case
they
you
did it
missed the
twice.
first one, yeah.
So do I think her performance was distracting in a vacuum? Yes. In a vacuum, 100%, because, yeah, of course, if you woke up in the body of a 70-year-old and you were 16, you'd freak out, right?
Sure.
And so I think the reaction's natural. But considering we have to compare this to the first one, which I haven't seen the first one in a very long time, but it was that over the top in that one too. Felt kind of, Brooks, what you said, like we're back home. We know what to expect. We know how these actors can perform their roles, with the exception of Lindsay Lohan now as an adult. So I didn't find it distracting or that going up to a 15 was too much, only because I'm comparing it to what's come before. Had this been the first movie, yes, 100%. I've been like, this is why. But I knew what was going to happen, and so I was expecting it.
Lindsay Lohan, I thought, was very calm in this movie. She was really not over the top at all. Obviously the two younger women in the story are with each other most of the time. And then the two, for lack of a better word, older women in this movie are with each other. So Lindsay and Jamie Lee Curtis are together a lot. And Lindsay was really, I thought, overshadowed by the intensity of Jamie Lee Curtis's energy. And she didn't seem to be interested in competing with it. I thought it was very strange because it's possible, Adam, that I don't remember the first movie as well as I think I do, but I thought they were more balanced, Brooks, the first time around.
Yeah, I think back then they were, but it also may have something to do with the characters that they're playing this time. I would think that may have something to do with it because the daughter in this movie, Harper, she is kind of like you can tell she wants to be rebellious. She wants to be the punk skater girl. She's on her mom's leash, but she does kind of come off as calm and subdued before they switch places. So I think it kind of goes hand in hand with how Lindsay Lohan played it. And then she did have her standard, reactions here and there, but yeah, honestly, I think she gave a better performance than Jamie Lee Curtis. But
I think that's what I'm saying too. I think I'm saying I
Yeah.
liked her performance better, which surprises me because I'm a big fan of Jamie Lee Curtis.
Mm-hmm.
I went into this fully expecting her to be the thing that I left feeling the best about, but it wasn't, weirdly. And I wonder if you guys think that the central conceit of the movie, the plot, the thing that they're trying to do, the four of them, did that work for you guys? Did it track?
I didn't care.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like I think the plot line is very cliche. And
Well,
again,
and
this
you
kind
know
of goes,
what's going to happen.
Yeah.
we know line
Never-
for line.
You
Yeah.
never question how this movie's going to end.
There's very little that you can't predict happening here. That's true.
Honestly, in the end, like we said, we knew what was going to happen, so we're not worried about it. But I kind of felt, again, that it was a cliched, tropey type story. But again, this is still kind of a cliched, tropey type story. It's like
Mhm.
there's nothing new under the sun, and there really isn't anything new under this. It didn't bother me by any means, but it did kind of detract from what I was hoping to have happen, because we know it's all going to be fine in the end. Everyone's going to hug, and it's going to be cute.
Of course.
They're going to switch
one of my
back.
one of my favorite parts was when they do the first switch and the young daughters who are now the old people, they're like, oh no, calm down. We've done this before. And they're like, you've done this before?
Right.
Like, that was just great, because they're like, oh my gosh, here we go again. And there is a lot of here we go again in this movie. But that being said, I still had a good time with it, and I still enjoyed it. I don't think I'm going to go out and watch it again. But for people who are fans of the original, who are maybe our age now, because now the millennials are grown up and they're, now they're Jamie Lee Curtis's age from the first one. And, so it's, I think
Not
there's
quite with Missy, but
I know
get what
Missy
you mean.
liked it. Missy seemed to have loved it when she walked
Yeah.
out.
She
So-
said, I think Rebecca said it, but it was a millennial movie made by women for millennial women.
Yeah.
And Missy wholeheartedly
Interesting.
agrees. And
They're talking
It's-
about
it's
this
true.
one, not the old. Not
yeah,
the first
this one.
Okay, yeah.
Because she's the same
Interesting.
age as Lindsay Lohan would be in this movie and has a daughter. And so I think it's just, and she grew up watching the original.
Yeah.
So for her, I guess it probably was like being put in that position.
Well, you bring up a great point, Brooks, because truth be told, the opinion of the three of us about Freakier Friday should be taken with a grain of salt.
Hey,
Well,
I'm a
all the
gay.
salt,
I get
'cause
an
of-
extra big
Because
grain,
we
okay?
liked it.
Adam, you get 2 grains, but Brooks and I only get 1. But
Yay.
when I say this movie was not made for me, I literally mean it's not made for me. I also sort of mean that it's not my cup of tea. But when I say that I get it, it's because I understand the construction of it. I understand the beats, and I understand that it doesn't matter whether I get it or not. And I think that some of the reactions I saw around the theater, I saw a lot of moms and daughters in the theater that I watched it with. And they seem to really be enjoying it and laughing together and getting jokes in a way that I probably never will. So
That's what I got to sit next to.
Yeah, right. So for that, I say thank you, Disney, because I think there need to be more films like that that are for moms and daughters that aren't for me. Because most of Hollywood, let's be honest, is for me. And it's nice to see things that aren't. So I do want to say, though, for the record, Lindsay Lohan's love interest is played by Manny Jacinto. And it makes me want to say one more time on the record, I'm sure the two of you are going to bite my head off, but people are wrong about The Acolyte.
Oh, it's
that
fantastic.
show had something, and people are wrong about it. I'm talking about the Star Wars series.
But I saw The Good Place.
Well, he's also in The Good Place. Thank you very much. But he is the big bad in Acolyte. It's been canceled, and everyone killed that show online, and I hate all of you for it. I'm very depressed about it. Okay.
Yeah, that is some of the best Star Wars I have ever seen. I need to finish Andor. I know everyone's saying that about Andor, but
you will feel
the
differently
Acolyte,
after that.
The Acolyte was brilliant. Like,
I loved it.
I think it's episode 2 or 3 where they kind of explain everything, and so it makes sense. But there's the twists and turns, there are things that are happening, and I was like, "Oh my gosh! Like this is what I want my Star Wars to be." Also, by the way, every time Manny Jacinto's on screen, I'm just kind of like, "Take your shirt off, boy."
This is why you have your 2 grains of salt.
Yes, exactly. You're going to feel differently when you see Andor season 2. Believe me, that's the best Star Wars.
Yeah, but Brooks, you need to check out Acolyte. I cannot recommend that enough.
I've been told to watch
so
both
good.
of those.
All right, back on track. Let's score Freakier Friday. Brooks, you go first.
Well, I mean, we've already said what we can. You know, this movie wasn't made for us, but I did enjoy it. I had a lot of fun. The performances are fine for what they needed to be. My wife and daughter liked it more than I did, so I think that also is a great thing. And it's a movie I won't hate if it's on once it hits Disney Plus and Sid starts to put it on repeat, because she's been watching the first one a few times before we went to this. So I'm expecting this to be on as well, and probably back to back. So it'll be 4 hours of, I guess I could call that Freakiest Friday. But
there you go.
But
we'll probably get a third one. Who knows? So
probably, because I don't know. I don't know how much money this is making, which is usually
I'll have to take a look.
Usually what causes that to happen. But also the audience reaction, I think, is outstanding for this.
People are loving it.
It's made for who it was made for, and they love it.
Yep.
And that's what I think matters most. And
which you better not be about to say a 4, Brooks.
Oh, no. Okay. I'm not going to give it a 4, but I will definitely give it at least 3.
Okay.
It's a perfect 3.
At least 3. That is a highly equivocal score, just like the one you gave in the last show. Brooks is giving scores that he doesn't even believe himself these days. But so 3 stars for you?
I'll go with 3.
I'm at 2 stars, not because I think there's a lot of things wrong with this movie. We talked about Jamie Lee Curtis's performances. It was a little distracting for me. But this movie, I think, is for a very certain kind of audience. I don't happen to be in it, but I get it. I understand what it is. So 2 stars for me. Adam, where are you?
So it did actually make its budget back, I'm assuming marketing costs. So we may see a third one, or who knows.
We're definitely going to see a third one. Definitely.
Yeah, well, at least it broke even. So no, I'm at 3 stars too. I thought it was cute. I thought it was enjoyable. It beat for beat, it's almost the same as the first one, which normally annoys me.
The same.
But it was done well, and it was done with love. Like, you could tell that, Jamie Lee Curtis doesn't need to come back and do Freakier Friday. Lindsay Lohan does. Lindsay Lohan actually, it was kind of nice seeing Lindsay Lohan on screen again.
Yes, I thought that too. I was like, she actually is pretty good in this.
She was, totally. Yeah.
Talking to someone who worked on the set, apparently she wasn't that nice in person. But
that's a shame.
Like, come on, you need this. Like, be nice. But no, it was cute. It was charming. It was everything I was expecting it to be. Nothing more, nothing less. It's not one that I'm going to go be excited to watch over and over again. I don't have a daughter, so I'm not going to have anyone clamoring to see it. Clark had absolutely no interest, so I'm sure he'll never see it.
No, he did not.
But for what it was exactly what I wanted it to be. And it was just lighthearted and cute. And sometimes, you know what? Sometimes you need some cotton candy after you've had a big meal and you're trying to sit there and digest it. Because let's be honest, dude, life doesn't get easy when we get our age. And maybe that's why I liked it too, because it's like, I get the you slept wrong and now you can't move your head thing, because that's where I am in my life now. So it was fun. I liked it. 3 stars. So
all right. So 3 dudes whose opinions you shouldn't care about at all think the following about Freakier Friday. Adam, you were at,
3 stars.
and Brooks,
3 stars.
and I'm at 2 stars. I think if you liked the first one, you should definitely go check out this one because it's going to feel like going home again. When we come back, speaking of going home again, that's the place where family is. We're talking about family legacy and our guilty pleasures this week. We'll be right back with you. Welcome back to episode 41 of Big Movie Mouth Off. I'm Jeff Counts.
I'm Brooks Bird.
And I'm Adam McDonald.
Guilty Pleasures, Family Legacy Edition. I'm afraid, Adam, I'm scared to death, but you get to go first.
So in our group chat, we don't ever talk about the movies we pick, but
We
then
never reveal.
we put the year.
Right.
And the moment at first I was wondering if this was going to be cheating because I was like, whatever. But I was like, you know what? So I'm going with the 2003 masterpiece, Fast and the Furious. No, I'm just kidding. You had to choose family, right? No.
Yeah.
2003's, and for my money, his best film, Tim Burton's Big Fish.
Damn it.
But now we can talk about it together.
We haven't had a steal
There you go.
in probably 20 episodes.
It's been a while.
And it's
Have you
usually
and I ever had a
Brooks.
steal?
No, it's always Brooks. It's
Yeah.
always Brooks. This is the first time it's been you, Adam. I also picked 2003's Big Fish. I love this movie, and I
Yes.
totally
It is
agree.
fantastic.
I totally agree. It's among his best, and maybe you might be right. It may actually be his best in terms of picaresque journeys and kaleidoscopic, colorful storytelling. He was never better than this. But I'm stealing your thunder. You talk about that.
No. That's, I mean, again, we got to go together on this. And what I loved is this had Tim Burton's fingerprints all over it.
Yep.
You knew it was a Burton film the moment you walked in, even if you didn't know he directed it. And it let him be weird and out there, but it wasn't so weird and out there that you're like, come on, rein yourself in a bit. I'm sure someone was telling him no, or the way the script came out was we couldn't go that far, but it's so awesome to see like the way, we have this person who's reconnecting with his father at the end of his father's life and realizing just how you misunderstood each other.
Yeah.
Because that's a big thing. It's like generations always misunderstand each other, no matter how hard or how close you are with your family or they are with you. That's going to happen. And so he just kind of felt like his dad was lying to him his whole life and that's one of my favorite scenes is the end when it's like his memorial service. It's like every character he ever talked about in his life was there. You had like the giant, you had Danny DeVito there. Is like, I think he was the ringmaster. Was that Danny DeVito? I want to say in this one.
Yes, I think so.
I need to watch it again. It's been a long time.
Because he was
Same.
also a ringmaster in Dumbo.
Right.
For Tim
But
Burton.
what I love though is that there's still that ambiguity at the end where, because Ewan McGregor, the dad, he was an unreliable narrator the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a kernel of truth to every story he told.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, again, Big Fish is the fish that got away. We're always embellishing these stories and they eventually turn into fact, which come into legend and history. And everything was just pitch perfect. Like, this is one of my favorite things of all time. I've seen it countless times.
Me too.
And I can't say enough good things about it. So it's not a bad film. It's not a guilty pleasure. It's a film I think more people need to see.
Oh, I don't think anyone talks about this movie anymore.
No.
We're going to shock a lot of people who actually saw it and have just forgotten that they saw it because, I mean, in the flood of thousands of movies since 2003, this one just got buried. And it's a shame because it really is a masterpiece. Look, Albert Finney at this time could do anything. He was so great and he took up so much screen volume anytime he was on. You knew that from him.
Yeah.
I think this was one of the first performances for me of Ewan McGregor that I thought, wow, he can do everything too. That guy in this movie was so charming, so, as you said, Adam, pitch perfect. To me, Ewan McGregor's performance in this movie is the thing that makes it so special. He's done a million things since then that have confirmed him as one of our absolute greats in his generation. But this was one of the movies, I think, even more than Trainspotting, that put him on the map in a way that was really amazing. So I can't say enough good things about this movie. It's definitely my guilty pleasure too. So tell everybody again, Adam, what you stole from me.
Excuse me, I went first. No, so it's,
Yes, that's how stealing works.
Shh, quiet, shh. Look at the flowers. Look at the flowers. 2003's Tim Burton's masterpiece, Big Fish.
All right, Brooks, what do you got to compete with that?
Well, mine's on the very opposite end of the spectrum. Surprise, surprise. So it's dark, it's dreary, there's lots of rain and lots of cannibalism. And I'm talking about 2013's We Are What We Are from Jim Mickle. And it is a masterpiece of, I guess, legacy. Yeah.
I've never even heard of this film, so please.
Same.
Seriously?
Same.
Yeah.
Tell us more.
So I believe there were three daughters. One of them dies, and the coroner discovers evidence of prion disease, which apparently you only, or not only, but you get it from eating human meat. And so then it puts the whole family under suspicion, and they have to decide whether they're going to go through with there's an annual religious ceremony that they perform, and then by the end of the movie, tables get turned almost literally, and it's my favorite Jim Mickle movie for anyone who happens to know who he is. But
Wow.
it's a brilliantly made. I saw it at Sundance and it blew me away, and I love this movie so much.
Did Midsummer use this as influence a little bit?
It may have, except
Yeah.
for that one's so bright and shiny.
That's true. The palette, the color palette is totally
But
different.
but maybe, yeah.
What's it called again?
We Are What We Are. It's
From what
actually
year?
a remake.
From what year?
So 2013.
When was the original?
It was
I'm on the Wikipedia page.
2010.
2010. Okay,
It was
so
It was a
a
Sundance
Mexican
movie.
movie.
wow. Okay, so We Are What We Are from 2013, and Adam and I both agree that Tim Burton's 2003 masterpiece, Big Fish, is a wonderful guilty pleasure about family legacy.
I did not know this, but apparently the original 2010 movie is a standalone sequel to Guillermo del Toro's Kronos.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
I did not know that, and now I want to go back and watch both of them. Like,
There's a lot of pretty important film DNA in this title. There's a lot
I
of
know.
really good history there. All right, well, you've got two, not three, good movies you should be checking out there because Adam and I were of like mind. When it comes to coming attractions, I will go first. I'm actually going to mention something that doesn't have a release date, at least as far as I'm aware of, but it just did get picked up, which makes me very excited. So it's coming, but probably pretty far in the future. And I'm talking about season 2 of a Paramount Plus show called Mobland. This is a
Oh.
crime drama starring Pierce Brosnan, Helen Mirren, Tom Hardy, Patty Considine. It is amazing. I literally just finished
cast.
season 1 this week. I'm behind. It ended a little bit ago, but I finished it this week, and I ended it thinking, please, please, please get picked up for a second season. That's not always a guarantee these days on TV. Sometimes good stuff gets killed, but it did get picked up. So I'm very excited about the continuation of the series Mobland on Paramount Plus. What about you, Brooks? What are you looking forward to?
So I heard an announcement of a movie and I was very scared, but I'm hoping that maybe after the likes of how well The Naked Gun was pulled off, that the Wayans brothers can maybe rein back their scary movie series with their sixth outing. And I was also very cautious about being excited until I saw that Anna Faris and Regina Hall are coming back.
I saw that.
Ooh.
I thought of you immediately when I saw that
It
article.
makes me so excited.
Yeah,
They're the best part of those movies, and they carry the entire franchise.
Did you see the picture they keep showing of the two of them in the early movies? They look like
Yes.
children. I
I
can't
know.
believe it.
I'm so excited because of those two.
When is that coming out?
Looks like right now it's set for June of next year.
What about you, Adam? What are you looking forward to?
So originally I was going to do a video game, Octopath Traveler 0. Go look it up. But this is one I can finally talk about. It was something I saw at Sundance this year. It was one of my favorite movies, and then it won awards for the acting. No one picked it up. It just sat in limbo, and it finally got picked up. It'll be in theaters on September 19th, and this is called Plain Clothes.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so this is based on true events. Back in the 90s, they would have undercover cops who are very good looking, would entrap gay men looking to hook up in public places like the restrooms, and then pretty much ruin their lives. Because, that back then it was still, the AIDS epidemic and everything else was so taboo that some people would actually go and die by suicide. But as far as Tom Blythe is Lucas, we know Tom Blythe is Coriolanus Snow from the last Hunger Games movie. Don't hold that against him. You also have he is the undercover cop who's busting people. He busts this guy named Andrew, played by Russell Tovey, who is always fantastic. And through this thing, we learn that actually Lucas himself is gay and has never really faced up to it. And the rest of the movie is them kind of playing out like it's almost like a coming of age story when you're in your 20s, kind of figuring yourself out, how he deals with it, kind of falling in love with the first person you ever meet who feels the same. And anyone who's gay, that's happened. You do two things. One, you fall in love with your straight best friend, and you fall in love with the first gay guy you meet. That's like rite of passage. So it's about that and where the story goes. It was really reminiscent of Weekend, Andrew Hay, who did All of Us Strangers. So if you've seen that, you kind of get the vibe. Loved it at Sundance. I'm so glad it got picked up. I want more people to see it. So you'll be seeing that in about a month.
All you had to do was mention All of Us Strangers to get me interested. So that's
It's not that level of filmmaking, but it just has that vibe.
If it's in that vibe world, I'm interested because that's one of the greatest movies I've seen in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
So
Now the ending's completely different. It's not like the
no, I'm
like
not
that.
expecting it to be the same, but I just love that you're mentioning that again.
Yeah,
So
but it did win the special award for ensemble acting and at Sundance, which was pretty cool.
So what's the title again?
It's called Plain Clothes.
And Brooks, yours was?
Scary Movie 6.
And mine was the second season of Mobland, which is coming out. I don't know, but it is happening. So that's it for episode 41. The number 41 is important because we are rapidly approaching the number of show that matches the age of you two boys.
We already passed 21 for me.
We're a long way from the show that matches my age, but I think we're going to do a special episode when we get to the show that matches your ages. It'll be your name day episode. We're going to do something really fun with that. Stay tuned for that. Until next time, though, which will just be a regular old show, I'm Jeff Counts.
I'm Brooks Bird.
And I'm Adam McDonald.
Thank you so much for being with us. Big Movie Mouth Off was produced and edited by me, Jeff Counts, and co-hosted by Adam McDonald and Brooks Bird. Our theme music is written by Brian Z. Richards, and this show is dedicated to the memory of our founders, Jeff Michael Weiss and my partner in crime for over 5 years, the incomparable Jimmy Martin.